Apparently, at one point, the next entry to the Sly Cooper franchise might have been a reboot, and it still might be. Let's talk about it.
Whoa!
What's up, guys? Canadian Guy A here, and back with more of a discussion video than a news video about the next entry to the Sly Cooper franchise. If you don't know, speculation of a new Sly Cooper game has been stirring up quite a lot in the past few months, from notable Easter eggs to verified leakers talking more and more about it, and now, once again, someone else is coming forward and claiming to have more information. Now, Nick, the main guy who's been behind these leaks and the first one to really get the ball rolling on this concept of Sly Cooper 5 and the fact that it's coming, confirmed 2 out of 4 of this person's claims, but could not confirm the rest. Crowacky TV is claiming that the next Sly Cooper entry started development in summer of 2021, and that a tease could pop up as early as mid-2022. Now, these were the facts that Nick was able to confirm. These next facts are when we enter uncharted territory. They claim that the game will be called Sly Cooper 5, and it would be on next gen, but is unsure about the PlayStation 4. Now, the next fact is what this entire topic of this video is based on. They said that, quote, "There has also been talks on completely rebooting the franchise and making more Sly Cooper games." This right here is an interesting take and I think deserves a worthy discussion. This comment, though, hit close to home for me. See, I run a show on the channel called Remake, Reboot, or Retire, where I covered Sly Cooper and determined that the trilogy would best benefit from a remake done just like the classic Crash and Spyro titles. So when I heard of the idea of Sly being rebooted, this hit me with, well, a lot of thoughts. Now, because the game is allegedly in such early development, even though the leakers are saying the game is titled as Sly Cooper 5, it most definitely could still be shifted to a reboot of the entire series. Again, it's because of it being in early development and makes it super easy to do that. Now, this video is not looking at what the leakers said and seeing if it's true or not. It's discussing the whole idea of, well, should Sly Cooper be rebooted? Or should we just continue where Thieves in Time left off? First, let's ask the question, why do reboots happen? Reboots tend to happen to franchises that are well known and started off successful, and then typically something happened to push it to the wayside. Sales and maybe overall interest kind of declines, and so the developers, perhaps brand new ones or even the original developers, decide to shake it up a bit and try something from scratch. Reboots can vary from having almost identical gameplay but different story to changing the genre completely. 2016's Ratchet & Clank can be kind of considered a reboot of the original game. Same with Ninja Gaiden, The Legend of Spyro, Tomb Raider, and quite possibly, worst of all, the gritty, dark Bomberman reboot. Yeah, this was a thing. You can't make this up. So assuming that the Sly Cooper reboot that Sony was allegedly exploring would be more along the lines of rebooting just the story, kind of like the 2016 Ratchet & Clank, and not edgy, gritty Bomberman, would the franchise benefit from it? Would it be a good idea? Frankly, to be honest, I don't think it would. Let me explain. Sly Cooper's story is not deep and nuanced, but it's meaningful. A group of ragtag orphans decide to lead a life of crime while following an exclusive code that gets them into interesting situations that deepens their friendships and trust within each other, looking for the next big score while also trying to stay alive. The first game takes you through Sly's journey of getting back his family heirloom, the Thievius Raccoonus, and learning from it and becoming a better master thief, while also learning about his family's past. Sly Cooper 2 is about finally stopping and ending that which haunted his family for good, and Sly Cooper 3 was about letting go of the past and settling in the present and now, a perfect end to a trilogy. Why would that need to be rebooted? The gameplay was also fantastic, sharp, and fun. While the first game played a lot to the classic platformer formula with the homeworlds and portals to different places, a lot like Spyro, the sequels really locked down and locked into what a Sly Cooper game should feel like. These open world homeworlds that have missions that you go on. The characters that were introduced are also perfect and all foil each other nicely. Both good and bad guys, they were all super memorable. So again, I ask, why would we need a reboot? But I think I know the issue that Sony might be bumping into that caused a discussion in the first place for a reboot. It's actually the exact same issue that the Crash Bandicoot series encountered. Notice, there's one Sly game I haven't mentioned yet. Yep, you know which one. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. Thieves in Time is such a polarizing game to the fan base. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people are like me and it's a complete mixed bag. It's so up in the air in the fan base. But I think the one thing that even lovers of the game mostly agree with is that the ending was not good. The cliffhanger ending really makes people just upset. Because of it, there is a huge clash among the fan base. So here is where we get to the issue at hand. Do you continue where Sly Cooper 4 left off, continuing off the most controversial title in the Hi, Hopesy. Continuing off the most controversial title in the franchise history and essentially locking it in as canon? Or do you reboot the franchise, wiping clean what was considered as kind of bad in terms of endings? Again, the issue with rebooting the entire franchise is, well, you're essentially throwing out and restarting games that are amazing, with only one game with a not so satisfying ending that kind of spoils the whole thing leading to Sly 5. Or do you continue where Sly 4 left off in a Sly Cooper 5, where you are forced to continue the time-traveling narrative and start the game with Sly Cooper in Egypt, which may not be the direction that the new developers, no matter who they are wanting to go. One choice gives the developers the creativity to draft an entirely new story, but cuts out the fan base's favorite games, and one choice forces the hands of the devs to include themes that they might not want to bring over. However, there is a third option. It's controversial, but it's there. Crash Bandicoot had kind of, but not really, wrote off Wrath of Cortex. While, yes, the multiverse does exist now in the Crash Bandicoot lore, but in terms of marketing, Crash 4 is kind of the replacement for Wrath of Cortex. So, Wrath of Cortex was kind of written off, but also not really. It's complicated, you get what I mean. But, Sony could remove Thieves in Time out of the canon. Just make it like it didn't happen and try Sly Cooper 4 again. Maybe remove the time traveling aspect, or do it again, but differently. But it's kind of a hard choice, because there are massive fans of Thieves in Time, and it does have its shining moments. So while that solution would allow the developers to be able to create whatever they wanted, while also keeping the fan favorites, you're also alienating a large portion of the fan base to be brutally angry. So to be honest, the franchise is put in a creative awkward spot. So what do you think? Should the Sly Cooper franchise be rebooted? Should it continue from Sly Cooper Thieves in Time and Sly Cooper 5? Or should Thieves in Time be removed completely and the new devs try again? Comment below. Let me know. Thank you so much to all those who not only support the channel, but myself and my family. Because of your contributions, I'm able to do this full time. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider clicking the join button or becoming a Patreon with the link in the description. I also live stream every Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on by and say hi. Again, thank you to everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video and or live stream.